I shouldn't be alive to tell you this. If you're watching this because you enjoy abandoned places, stop searching after tonight. That hospital officially closed decades ago after a mysterious fire. Yet every few weeks ambulance sirens echo, lights glow, doctors pace spotless hallways, and patients enter smiling, but nobody ever returns. I ignored every warning because I wanted proof. Somehow I escaped only by breaking the hospital's oldest rule, and it stole something from me forever. There was one room I never opened, and after what I heard behind that door, I never will. It all started with a message from another urban explorer who disappeared 3 days later, leaving only unanswered questions and a photograph showing the hospital entrance glowing beneath midnight rain, with fresh footprints leading inside alone, waiting for me next. The message arrived at 2:17 a.m., just as I was about to shut my phone off for the night. It came from another urban explorer whose videos I'd followed for years. There was no greeting, only 2 chilling lines. Ward 7 is still admitting patients. Don't let them register your name. Attached were blurry photographs of the abandoned hospital. Every hallway was brightly lit. Fresh wheelchairs stood neatly against spotless walls. Vending machines glowed with full shelves, and an operating schedule hanging outside a theater was stamped with today's date. His final sentence read, "Please, don't come here." Hours later, his account vanished. Every upload, every comment, every trace of him disappeared. Only one photograph survived. It showed 3 nurses silently pushing an empty wheelchair down a hallway, directly toward whoever held the camera. Toward me. I showed everything to my friend Marcus. He laughed, shaking his head. Hospitals don't reopen themselves. I stared at the picture without blinking. Neither do dead people. His smile faded. Against every instinct, curiosity drowned out fear. We packed our cameras before sunrise, convincing ourselves there had to be a logical explanation. I still didn't understand why they wanted names so badly, and maybe that ignorance was the only reason I agreed to go. When we reached the entrance, someone had already unlocked the doors. The rusted glass doors slid apart before either of us touched them. A warm breeze drifted from inside, carrying the faint scent of antiseptic and fresh coffee instead of mold and decay. Every ceiling light burned brightly. The reception desk glowed beneath polished lamps. Soft piano music floated through hidden speakers, and colorful flowers decorated spotless counters. The white floor reflected our faces like a mirror. There wasn't a single layer of dust anywhere. My flashlight suddenly felt ridiculous in my shaking hand. A woman behind the reception desk looked up with a welcoming smile that never reached her eyes. "Welcome," she said gently. "Do you have an appointment?" My throat locked. Marcus forced an awkward laugh. We're just looking around." Without reacting, she reached beneath the counter and handed us 2 admission forms printed on perfectly crisp paper. My eyes scanned the questions until one line froze every thought in my head. Reason for eternal treatment. Marcus chuckled nervously. Must be someone's idea of a haunted attraction. I didn't answer. Every instinct screamed at me not to touch the pen resting beside the paperwork. Slowly, I folded the form and slipped it back across the counter. "We're not patients," I whispered. The receptionist smiled wider. "Not yet." We walked deeper into the hospital. Patients wandered silently through the hallways, moving with slow, measured steps. None of them blinked. None spoke. Some wore ordinary hospital gowns, while others looked decades out of place. An elderly man shuffled past wearing a faded military uniform from another era. A woman in an elegant Victorian dress carried an empty 4-stand beside her. A businessman in a brown suit straight from the 1970s stared blankly through me as if I wasn't there. Every clock we passed displayed the same impossible time. 3:33 a.m. None of their second hands moved. Then the speakers crackled overhead. "Attention," a calm voice announced. "A new patient has arrived." Every person in the hallway stopped walking. Every head turned. Every empty pair of eyes settled on me. Marcus grabbed my sleeve so tightly it hurt. "Don't run," he whispered. Footsteps echoed behind us. A young doctor approached with a calm smile and perfectly pressed scrubs. "We've been expecting you," he said. He spoke my full name without hesitation. Then he mentioned a childhood illness I had never told anyone about. "You almost needed surgery when you were 8, he continued. "Fortunately, your procedure was postponed." It wasn't. That operation had never happened. I glanced at the badge clipped to his pocket. Issued, 1956. The man couldn't have been older than 30. He leaned closer until only I could hear him. "Your records were incomplete," he whispered. "We've waited a very long time." Behind him, towering filing cabinets stretched across an entire wall. Hundreds of patient files filled their drawers. One drawer stood slightly open. A single label was attached. My name. I couldn't force myself to open it. The deeper we walked, the stranger the hospital's rules became. The deeper we wandered, the more signs appeared on the walls. They weren't emergency instructions or evacuation maps. Every polished hallway displayed the same framed notice beneath the words "Rules for Patients." Never answer if your name is called twice. Never enter surgery after midnight. Ignore crying children. If a nurse has no reflection, follow her immediately. Never ask today's date. The rules sounded ridiculous until someone softly called, "Marcus." He ignored it. Seconds later, the voice repeated his name. Without thinking, he answered, "Yeah?" Nothing happened. He laughed and shrugged. I wanted to believe the rules were nothing more than another elaborate prank. 10 minutes later, Marcus frowned. Which way did we come from? Soon he couldn't remember my name. Minutes after that, he stared at me with frightened eyes and whispered, "Who am I?" The lights flickered overhead. Empty wheelchairs rolled across the corridor without anyone touching them. Heart monitors echoed from patient rooms that contained nothing but neatly made beds. Then an elevator arrived with a cheerful ding. Its doors slid open by themselves. Every single button inside carried the same label. Ward 7. A pale nurse stepped beside me. I searched the polished steel wall behind her. She had no reflection. Leaning close, she whispered, "He's ready now." That was also the moment I discovered what really happens to anyone who signs those admission papers. I won't tell you. Some knowledge shouldn't spread. Hospitals are supposed to heal people. This place erased them instead, piece by piece, until nothing remained except obedient patients. We should have left then. Instead, we followed the elevator. The elevator stopped without a sound. The operating room beyond buzzed with steady machines and calm voices. Surgeons worked beneath brilliant lights while monitors beeped in perfect rhythm. A patient lay completely covered beneath a blue surgical sheet. One doctor glanced at me through his mask and calmly held out a pair of gloves. "You're just in time," he said. "We need your assistance." Before I could answer, another surgeon slowly pulled back the sheet. My heart stopped. The patient was me. Every scar, every feature, every terrified breath belonged to my own face. Then my duplicate opened his eyes. He stared directly into mine and whispered, "Don't let them finish." Marcus screamed. Every light exploded into darkness. Red emergency lamps flooded the room. The spotless hospital rotted before my eyes. Paint peeled from the walls. Blood spread across cracked tiles. Rust covered every instrument. The patients outside became motionless shadows with empty faces. The speakers repeated the same words again and again. "Procedure incomplete. Procedure incomplete." We ran blindly through collapsing corridors until an emergency exit burst open beneath my shoulder. Cold night air hit my face. Outside, the hospital was abandoned once more. Broken windows stared into darkness. No lights remained. No music played. Marcus was gone. Only muddy footprints led from where I stood back through the entrance. I never followed them. Before escaping, I grabbed one patient file from the reception cabinet. I still haven't opened it. I thought it was over, until the file opened itself. Months later, I finally opened the stolen file. Inside was only one document: today's appointment. Patient, you. Time, tonight. If you ever hear ambulance sirens near an abandoned hospital, don't look outside. This isn't the first. There are others, older, connected, waiting. If you've ever explored an abandoned hospital, tell me what you saw. If your story matches mine, they've already created your file. And if you ever receive an admission form with your name already printed on it, burn it before midnight. Comment below. Have you ever explored one? What's the creepiest abandoned place you visited? Should I open the next patient file and reveal what's inside next time?